And here we are again, and starting out with new category, more or less more retro, and of course the newest suit also. So we are going to play educational games on Apple II and see how that goes. There were quite a few of those that came out because it used to be the computer for schools, especially in the US, for most of the 1980s. So it came out with a lot of educational software of varying quality. So let's see what we find in terms of retro educational games and software for the Apple II, because of course the main computer gaming side proper tends to be better covered. So it's more interesting to actually look at the educational titles, like how good they were and whether they are worth remembering much. So we should have some interesting time with that, and hopefully we do not get too bored. At least there are a lot of them, because there are like dozen different games for learning addition or such, but we play only a few, at least of the ones that tried preliminarily to at least have some quality check the better ones, which is of course better start than starting out with the worst ones, one would hope. So hello there, SFW. Hopefully you have been well, and indeed new thing also. So let's then look at the first game, which is actually among the better ones, namely Quarter Mile, which practically gives you different quick to answer problems, and you, depending on your profess, are supposed to get quarter mile times comparable to actual racing, which seems to hold true rather well, as did kind of like ambitiously fast try without suit, and it got about 12 seconds, which is, when you consider quarter mile times, very modern electric cars get around 9 seconds, and the very top kind of like car, like basic quarter mile cars, also get about low nines. So 12 seconds seems quite realistic for high-end quarter mile time. Oh, thank you. Group of... yeah. But indeed, would say that have had a good day. Went out cycling and also otherwise had quite successful day. So welcome to the stream, and hopefully you enjoy very retro educational games. Let's see how this goes. Have not tried streaming these before. Let's also reduce gain a little, maybe to clip less. Hopefully, let's see. Like, do you think that would be quite good level to not? If we are even now, we do even have the right setting. So let's see if we talk about that usual loudness now. Now we do not clip, so that looks good, and then we should be good to go. Good to go with quarter mile. Let's see. There we are. Looks very impressive. So hit any key. And then we have menu, and let's see, like play, save last race, print, rankings, format data disk, bulletin, quit, and we do have sound off, and we should even be getting some kind of sound, we'll see. And unsure how good sounds these may have, a little bit rough sounds compared to what like modern gamers have got used to. So let's see. Play. And then we get different, like keyboard warm-up, 1 digit, 2 digit, add, 4 through 4 plus 4, through 9 plus 9. 4 plus 4 is easy because we never go to the second digit, which should be, like, even if not very smart, we should get good results in that. So compared to, for example, the higher end multiplication, that should be quite doable. So let's go for that first and see how that goes. Of course, this requires considerable speed. So, and let's select, and here we are. So race, and then we of course should be ready with the keyboard, hopefully. There we go. 0 plus 3. I think that would be apparently not 4. 4, 4, 5, 5, 3. Alright. And 4, 3, 5. Alright, this is 7. That even went right. 5. And we got 17, so that would be good result. And the kind of like computer players do not make terribly good times comparatively, so you usually do get quite strong time the first time compared to the opponents. The main kind of like idea with the game is that you are playing against your earlier runs, so it gets more interesting on the second race because you now have your rather more competitive result as the starting point. So second run. And then we have 7. Alright, and now we went down to the 13, so practically beating the earlier result pretty well. And you also get more speed, you practically gain speed for every right answer, so it's kind of like you are accelerating in addition to maintaining that speed. So it's important to answer preferably right multiple times in a row to accelerate further. So this is surprisingly well thought out for era, that it is actually interesting. And the README especially advertises that the whole drawing and racing routine has been written in machine language, which is pretty much necessary for the game to run this smoothly on the 6502. So it's very much quite good achievement when you consider the powers and capabilities of the Apple II. This is actually pretty well done game by far. Ah, Raven 8, you have a watch streak, yay. Very nice, and greetings also. Hopefully you have been enjoying our very retro, very retro mathematics racing game, or arithmetic even. It's not really very mathematics when you consider that the only challenge is addition. Let's see if we can still get better results. Alright, not quite. 13,902, 13,510. Should have gotten a few more right quickly to accelerate clearly. So let's see how far we get on the next run. let's do a couple more and then probably see about the more difficult levels, because the singular addition So let's then try further a couple of rounds and then change for more difficult level. So let's see. Alright, 13 almost sharp, so clearly we are getting a bit better still. Let's see, next run. So this would imagine, when you imagine the original usage scenario, like that you have computer at school and you get to play this, would think that this would be quite popular due to the competitive feature to it, that you can compete against other students, and the times are, of course, it adds a bit to the appeal that the times are comparable to actual water mile times to a good degree, so that also adds to the appeal. Alright, went under 13, 12.674. Still made a couple of mistakes, so let's see if we can still push a bit further. And as we see now, we have the earlier times coming up to the competitors, so it's practically we are competing against the best times from earlier. So in that respect also the idea is quite overall well thought out, that you compete against your or the other guys in the class earlier runs, so you practically do get more meaningful times. So let's see then one more with this and then try a more difficult setting also. So let's then do another one still, and then seven, there we go. Alright, not quite. And there we are. So, as can be seen, this actually was a pretty good idea overall. Alright, that didn't go quite as well. So let's then choose to save race, which saves it in the menu also. Of course the disk is not stored outright, so, and we exit drag strip, and now we get the also the fastest time shown on the menu, so we see which was the fastest run, and also and then we can choose a different like category again from the menu, so we can select like, for example, then we do have multiplication and division and mixed, which is of course also the division, if it doesn't go even, maybe quite hard. Let's see how we multiply, which is already requires multi-digit values, so it's not quite as simple. Might be a little bit slower, like. Alright. 24. And then we have 14. 8. 6x7, which would be. Alright, so it would be 42. And then we have. Alright, and we got already like pretty good time when one considers clearly the comparatively more difficult problem brings, because we already went down to 18, so apparently we gain more speed when we consider like comparatively like the addition compared to multiplication. We clearly gain more speed per problem when one considers that we got only by answering a few correctly we already got to 18, so. Oh, hello there, Jax, and let's greet you all properly on the main screen while we have been doing this now for a while, so let's greet you all properly. So switch to the main screen and give you all greetings here, as we have been of course having some fun with the first educational game, which proved quite educational. We have this far tried addition and multiplication, so alright, we of course will show off bodysuit with pleasure in a moment. Let's first of all greet all of you, so hello there, and we certainly have had some fun with the educational games for Apple II this far, so let's then, as requested, show off. And indeed, here we are. It's very elegantly metallic. Color in this case. And has some pattern even, which looks good of course on the protogen also. So there you go. So let's then have a few runs more with the multiplication and then consider our next educational title. And indeed, thank you for the watch streak, very appreciated. Oh, thank you. So let's then have some more runs with the runs with the multiplication and then choose next educational title, because of course there were quite a few when they made these things. So indeed they are very nice, and they match the overall theme with the light and orange colors. So of course chose those today with the overall outfit. So let's have a few more runs with the multiplication and then move to our next title. Here we are, and let's see how we are doing time wise also. Alright, about half an hour, so let's do some more multiplication and then move on to the next title. About half an hour each title seems quite nice. So alright, and let's see if we can multiply better. Eight x 9, so it would be one out of 9, so it is 91. No, 81 would be more right, and note that either 9 times 8, so we are not very good at arithmetic, clearly. So it would be 170. Yep, not the bad one ever. And we got up to 55 even. Very well, let's try again. That was not best calculation ever. Alright, that should be easier. No wonder. 0 is quite popular here. And again, this time we even know that it would be 72, but we still made it to the 14s, even if. So we actually improved our result despite not doing that well. So clearly we should try multiplication again. And 8 times 9 seems to be our worst problem. So now we remember it's 72 still. Most excellent. No wonder, because we tried for 9 times 9, which is 81. Really. Alright. More multiplication, please. Alright. So 18 would be, it wouldn't push the wrong one all the time. We still clearly have also some learning to do with the and now we even remember this. Alright, 16. So second fastest. We clearly have some remembering still to do, also multiplying by 0. But of course educational title, so alright, 35 would be, we would type correctly. But now we already remember that. And that would be 47. There we go. Alright. So, as we can see, the problems get more difficult, and also the game gets probably a little bit more interesting with the more difficult problems. So Alright, so we are getting quite tolerable drag race times, so let's then move to the next educational title. Let's see what we are going to do next. So let's switch to the main screen so we can admire our good suitor while we choose the next title. Oh, thank you for your subscription. You clearly deserve our thanks. So let's support that. Greatly appreciate your support, and of course very thankful for all subscribers. Very pleasant positive surprise. So of course, thank you for your support, and we certainly welcome a new subscriber also. Let's support that. So let's then see what our good suitor would play next, as we had some quarter mile, which was actually very good for the era when you consider it has action, it is actually quite challenging, and it has a competitive aspect. So it's actually a very fun game when you consider what many things of the era were. So that's actually a very successful game, one of the more positive surprises when pre-tried these. And then let's see what we have coming up next. Like would probably do at first, like pre-tested titles. So let's see. And then we do have next we are going to do educational title wise. Yes, we had the Brighter Rabbit, because we are of course first, so should be interesting enough. Like, let's see if that is of any. If it would agree to actually do something. We had pre-tried also other games. Now if would find them also overall, like from the list, which would make things easier. But yes. There we go. Actually had different list sorting wise. No wonder that got different ones than expected. Alright, it's nice in Suit that you get different sorting. No, yeah, this was one that intended. Alright, do you think the actual issue is actually a bit different, namely what confused our good shooter is that it will only run one instance of the emulator at a time. So we have to fix that first. There we are. So actually the issue was a slight misunderstanding, because I had not tried that. So there we go. Let's try again. So confusion resulted from that it actually runs only one instance of the emulator at a time. So no wonder. Then we have one that actually didn't quite get to work, but the team certainly should sell with this audience. So let's see if this works, because the game is subtitled The Wonderful World of Paws. What would you expect, like with furs? If your game is titled The Wonderful World of Paws. Oh, hopefully you can rest soon. Alright, and our Wonderful World of Paws seems to also be willing to run now that understood what was doing wrong. Apologies for that. And then we of course, it's always fun to be debugging in the middle of things. So then we try again and see if we get something. Yes, and there we go. Wonderful World of Paws. What would you wish for more? So we have very long instructions, or more like thread, and then we again have a cat. So indeed, Wonderful World of Paws. What would you think? Unfortunately, it's not quite what one might wish. It's actually a typing trainer, but it has a cat. So it's the Wonderful World of Paws. This is Apple computer keyboard. Look at the computer keyboard. It looks like a typewriter keyboard. Yes, and we have paws. So indeed. And we succeeded at pressing return. Strike return again. And great, strike return again. Alright, we have learned to strike return. You will also use return after you choose a lesson. Computers and keyboards are everywhere. You will use them often in school and at home. At this time, like 1980s, this may have been slightly less true. Knowing how to use the keyboard correctly will make using the computer easier, faster and more fun. There we go. Find ESC key. And as we notice now, our orange cat has stretched out their paw to point out the ESC key. So there we go. Great. You found the ESC key. Strike ESC again. This clearly had quite direct training method of repeating. And now we get the strike return. You'll use the ESC key to go to the lesson menu where you choose what you want to do. Very well. You can also use the ESC key to pass by the cover screens. Alright. Find yes and no. Alright, let's strike Y. Strike N. Good job. You found the yes and no. Am I smiling? Looks like it. Very happy cat. So yes, you're right. Let's try one more question. Do you like to use computers? Yes. Computers are fun. Educational game indeed. Great going. You are now ready for lesson 1. Now you return to the main menu and some pause. So yes, the name of the game. Please type today's date and then strike return. Unsure whether typing some date very far in the future confused the game last time because it didn't accept key presses once went to the lesson. So if we just press return instead, especially because we do not know in what format it expects the date, so kind of type today's date has not been the best thing ever to come up with, have to admit. So let's then choose our lesson. Introduction, home keys and so on. Let's try home keys, and we can even find them quite well. Alright, and lesson 1 it is. Please type your first name. Apparently we can't. Alright. The arrow key apparently deletes, so there we go. Build speed. Do think somehow that learning home key space bar. Let's try then lesson 1 and see how it goes. Alright, and now we learn ASDF and A. Apparently this would explain the issue. The program clearly expects something that is not true about the keyboard layout. Alright, Caps lock has to be on. There we go. Whatever key is really expected. What would the symbol be is a good question. Let's quickly check, like even bigger screen. Alright, it's the semicolon. That is actually somewhat of a problem, because it's impossible to most probably generate as the thing expects. Because it's not like you. So let's do ESC and then do one of the things that actually has the doesn't require you to press semicolon constantly. So let's next see, learn the space bar. That shouldn't be too difficult. We'll see. Wonderful world of pause, you say. Lesson, learn space bar. Use your right thumb, strike space. You will use the space bar to place spaces after simple letters and between words. Alright, and then we should type there we go, and then alright, our cat doesn't always seem perfectly happy. There we go. And then we have the semicolon again. It's actually impossible to generate the Apple II semicolon key on this keyboard layout, so at least quickly trying. So it's kind of like it expects keyboard layout that would contain the expected key. They're unsure how it exactly maps, because pressing the key combination that generates semicolon doesn't make it much more pleased, but yes, wonderful world of pause. So learn return key, and then we have build speed. Let's see how much speed we can make with the semicolon required. One of the problems is that it's hard to read the cursive font, so it's like, what did you want this time? There we go. You typed, alright, now we get even type 12 words a minute. Let's try again. and then we get the semicolon which we can't generate. But yes, that would be the main theme with the pause. So, hello there, Ticatron. Let's greet you properly. And indeed, we have had some wonderful time with the orange cat. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of dumb that you have to hit the semicolon key, which is not actually possible to generate on the combination of the PC keyboard mapped to the Apple keyboard through the emulator. It's actually impossible to generate the semicolon key apparently, so but yes, let's greet you properly. So hopefully you have had a good evening this far also, Tiga, and it's great to see you. So we have been having retro Apple II software tonight, so welcome, and hopefully you have had a good weekend this far also. So let's see how we are doing time wise. Do we do a bit more with the wonderful world of pause, or move to the next title? Alright, we are about up to an hour, so let's do one more lesson with the wonderful world of pause, and then choose our next title now that we know what went wrong earlier. So alright, and then it apparently decided to not. There we are. And then play pause game. Alright, let's see how that goes. Should be interesting. We still can't generate the semicolon, so alright, let's have a race. Try to beat me to the alright ball. Alright, and then we have A, alright, A, D, and then we have L, A, D. At least it's easier when these are actual words. Our good cat wasn't very fast. Games 1-1. So yes, we even get to race the cat, and it makes paw prints. Alright, it looks like. Alright, it was not ass. Alright, this time we didn't beat the cat. I won, indeed. It doesn't exactly help that can't quite see the letters. So that is the main problem, not as much the lack of typing proficiency, because the problem is that can't quite read the letters. It's kind of very minor issue. So let's actually try a bit differently, namely change the screen format a bit. So yeah, it's practically like mostly making out the D, which is not. Alright, this has the semicolon, so that's impossible. Let's see the other like return to the main menu. Alright, what else we do have? Keys. We have the home keys, and then we have EH. Alright, let's see, like for example number 4. Let's see if we can learn the I key. Let's see what we are taught. Alright, so we have above the home keys we have the I. And we are instructed which finger to use. So we have the right digit like that. This has been done actually pretty well. Alright, then we practice switching between the two. What letter is that? Alright. Die also. There we go. Went much better when you recognize the we have clearly gotten much better typists because we moved a bit closer to the screen so that we actually see the letters, like typing speed increased. Alright, unsure what we are actually alright, not quite. Apparently our good cat also wanted the semicolons, but we still can't generate those, so would you like to repeat the exercise? No thank you, do think that was enough of our wonderful world of pause. But yes, we got much better typists when we actually moved a bit closer to see the letters. immediate improvement in typing skill resulted. So let's then again switch elegantly to the main screen and see about what we move for next. Title wise, we are going to of course have still third educational title. So let's see what will be our third game slash educational title tonight. As we saw, the wonderful world of Pause may not have been exactly what some were hoping, but Pause it is. Let's see, now we at least get the list also in the order we expected, so it's a bit easier. And of course, as we are furries, yes, this was also one that chose the Math-O-Saurus. One would imagine that any Saurus of course would be popular, so we do have Math-O-Saurus, which let's see how we do with that and whether it has any dinosaurs in it. Alright, let's see if we get image directly, and yes, there we go. We do have a goofy looking dinosaur eating ice cream, so Math-O-Saurus indeed. And then we see how the thing actually starts. Push return. Alright, so it was actually loading. Basic addition and subtraction. Adding without carrying and subtracting without borrowing. Adding with carrying and subtracting with borrowing. Alright, so press space and return to choose. Press S for summary. We are of course still beginners in this arithmetic thing, so let's try basic addition and subtraction first. So actually that looks more goofy without carrying and without borrowing. That looks more goofy, like you have a minimal lem also. So let's try that. Please enter your initials. There we go. Addition. Press Ctrl T for problem options. Alright. So we have to actually 0 plus 0. Try again. But we have no Saurus. Wrong. Alright, it's not 0, it's 8. No wonder. 9 plus 7. Alright, now we are cooking, that we actually recognize the numbers, so that would be then 16. Good. Alright, we get a picture of a Saurus. 9 plus 4. So then we have 13. 9 plus 6, so we have 15. This is less interesting certainly than the quarter mile, have to say. And then we would have 13 again. 8 plus 7, so we have 15. Alright. 9 plus 7, so we have 16 again. 5 plus 6, we have 11. 5 plus 6, we have 11 again. 8 plus 5, so we have 13 once again. 5 plus 7, yes, now we do have, once again, now it's 12 actually, if could type correctly. 8 plus 4, and again it's 12, and then we have, and there we go, we have a picture of quite goofy Saurus apparently jumping with the jumping rope revealed. So clearly good job. Was that the only image? Do we actually have more than one? Let's try. Alright, it's a different one even. So let's solve more addition and see another one. We have this far had quite repetitive, like all of them have almost gone above 10. Alright, and then we again have 13. And alright, apparently we have a dinosaur riding a moped. Looks quite interesting way to do it also. Eight plus 3, so that would be then. And then we have 2 more to reveal. So there we go. That is an interesting way for dinosaur to ride a moped, so that you're practically not sitting on it, but it's like you're more or less laying on it. There we go. Have to say that this isn't the most enticing thing ever. So let's then see what else we will try. Admittedly, the Math-O-Saurus was not quite as durable overall quality wise as the previous two, which were actually quite enjoyable. The Math-O-Saurus kind of falls flat, as we did the grand total of 2 puzzles, and that was everything there was to the game. So for title, please, let's try one more. That was indeed not the most enticing one. So if we imagine we would be playing these, certainly admit that the first 2 would have been much bigger hits in the classroom. Then we had this, yes, improving your memory. that should be useful. Let's see if we improve our memory, which would be of course usually of interest for the for this kind of a creature, when you consider that at least stereotypically one is always told that RAM is of interest, so improving your memory should be very desirable. Programs for basic living skills was even the title, so let's see if we get a picture and yes, improve your memory. Please type your first name and then press return key. First of all, it's kind of like you would be pleased to remember your first name, which would be a start. Provides the following entry points: instructional phase, application phase. Quite formal, aren't we? So let's then see about the instructional phase first, so that we are sufficiently instructed in the art of using our memory. So let's first of all see about the instructional phase. When you have finished reading what is on the screen, you must press the return key. I will put blinking R at the bottom to remind you to press the return key. Do it now. We remembered to press the return key. Alright. MCE program loading. Wow, colorful. Welcome to Improving Your Memory. This program is designed to improve your memory by teaching you new ways to remember. Very well. The word all will help you to remember things. All stands for attend, look, listen. Alright, so pay attention, look closely, listen carefully. Use attend, look and listen to remember. So what we do actually have to remember is not totally clear. This is also older program, because this is from 1983, and it kind of shows for super remembering, use all. Then use the information. Really, this has been sold for money. Like realistically, this is quite interesting, like that they would have sold this for money. Admittedly. Use all to improve your memory. Repeat the information to yourself, write the information down, practice and use the information. Yes. Let's see how well you remember. Choose the list that will help you improve your memory. Attend, look, listen. Attend, listen, live. Listen, look, all. Alright, and C would be our reply here, so good. You remembered all. Always attend, listen and look when you want to remember something. Like realistically, this disc was sold for money, and it actually like is very simplistic, like does it have more instructions or something? Now let's look at 3 special memory methods: visualization, association, reduction. Alright, so it at least has more content. Visualization is the method where you try to see things in your mind. You try to create an image in your mind of the thing you want to remember. Very well. For example, alright, so it always fills your name in. Very advanced. Have you ever tried to remember if you unplugged an electric appliance? Alright. By using visualization, you could create an image which would remind you that the appliance has been unplugged. Very well. You can use visualization to picture yourself pulling out the plug as you unplug it. Bold. You could create a silly image of pulling out the plug with your ears. With these ears would imagine that would be no problem. Then later you could think about the silly image and remember that you did pull the plug. Really, using visualization, how could you remember that you have locked your door? Take a picture of a door with the camera. Tape a note on the door. So this would be A. You are correct. Visualization can help you remember doing things that you may tend to forget. Let's look at another example. This doesn't use any graphics, which is also like it used graphics for the company logo only. Have to say that this is not the best educational game ever. Improving your memory indeed, and when you think that this disc was sold for money. So alright, wow, we have graphics. Flights 421560. On Tuesday you must meet flight 421 at gate B14 at 2:20. That's a lot of information already. So it used the kind of character graphics at least. Close your eyes and try to see this image in your mind. On Tuesday you must meet flight 421 at gate B14 at 2:20. (421) Method is called association, yes. And we only were asked the flight number. We also had to go to gate B14 at 2:20, but that was apparently not asked after anymore. Yes, let's try something else. This was much less game-like than thought with the pre-test, because tested it only up to that it loaded the first menu. So let's test something else, because that is not very interesting in the long run, because it teaches very basic methods. So let's see still what else we do have. Reading and me. Right. Alright. We also, the Math-O-Saurus was kind of less than total success. Real math level 3. Do you remember this was somewhat interesting? So let's see what real math is like. We will have a lot of educational titles. We are mostly touching on purpose ones that have to do with arithmetic this time, and next time we are going to, once we do more, we are going to do ones that are related to natural sciences and geography, because there are a lot of those also. Word problem set. Alright, so we get, let's see what word problems we get. Let's do a bit with this and then finish for tonight. So word problem set. Let's choose problem set B. So let's choose problem set B and see what is real math. Sounds very convincing. Real math, it's not fake. And of course, feel free to comment in the chat how you enjoyed. Oh, hello there, Struggle. Feel free to comment in the chat how you enjoyed various educational titles for the Apple II. Two of which were actually very nice, the Quarter Mile and the Wonderful World of Pause was at least amusing. The rest have been kind of like mediocre, which isn't surprising. Especially the Improve Your Memory was kind of boring because it only gave basic instructions. Real math. So let's see what we are up to. Word problems in math are like the problems people solve from day to day, at work and at home. People who go shopping, bake cookies, build shelves and play games all need to solve math problems. Being a good problem solver can take a lot of practice. You should learn to work through these steps. 1. Understand the question. 2. Find the needed data. 3. Plan how to solve. 4. Find the answer. 5. Check your work. Fair enough. For the problems in this program, you will need to read carefully to understand what is being asked. Be careful when you decide which data you need. Rest of the problems will have extra data. You will receive 4 points for each right answer and lose 4 points for each wrong answer. The blue boxes on the left side will help you show how well you find the needed data, choose the operation and find the answer to each problem. Press whatever button that is. The symbol is so small. If you need help when choosing an operation, let's check larger what symbol that is. Do think it's the colon, but unsure how to generate it. Press if you need to use the calculator. The top score totals will be shown on a summary chart. Alright, and please enter your initials. And then Gloria made candy 3 nights last week. On Monday she made 108. Do think that is a 0. Mint wafers. On Tuesday Gloria made 60 mint wafers. How many more mint wafers did she make on Monday than on Tuesday? What data do you need? We do clearly need both of these, because it does not matter that there were 3 nights, it only matters how many were made. How will you solve? Subtract. Find the answer, so it would be how many more? So it would be 48 unless that push 3. Alright. And we solved all blue boxes filled, so we solved the whole problem. Let's try another one. Lori and her friends ate at Dan's Diner. The total bill was $7. The 4 girls decided to split it equally. How much should each girl pay? What data do you need? Of course we need the data, amount of the bill and the number of girls. How will you solve? Divide. Find the answer. 7 is not exactly divisible by 4, so let's try the calculator. So, how do we choose the operation? Let's see. 7 divided by 4. Ask to answer, so let's do it directly. Right, that was not even. $1.75, so let's see if we type it with the dot, or yes, do think that would be correct. 76, there we go. Unfortunately, it never empties the blue boxes, so we do not know whether we answered the next ones correctly. So let's see how we are doing time wise, and we are up to 1.5 hours exactly. This was more meaningful, and it uses funny pictures to add to the problems. So I would say that top 3 tonight certainly was Quarter Mile, Wonderful World of Paws, and this Real Math level 3. So clearly educational software was tried, and we'll test more titles, of course, for next time when we do Apple II evening. That was certainly enjoyable with different old educational games, very retro, because these are rarely shown, unlike the usual, like the computer gaming titles are shown quite often comparatively, so it's fun to show the kind of less common, less viewed educational titles, because these are often not even saved. So it's fun that there is the collection at archive.org that actually has saved various educational titles from original discs, because usually these are just thrown out because most do not have much interest in trying them out. So this was very enjoyable, kind of a new type of stream with the educational software for the Apple II. So feel free to also comment how you enjoyed educational titles. Indeed, as said, that it's very interesting that we do have these with us, and it's interesting to try them out. We will have another educational evening with Apple II one of these nights, so very happy to also continue the series. So we are next going to raid someone. Let's see if we can raid someone who is also playing something retro. At least we try, but otherwise we will see again tomorrow, and hopefully you have good rest of the night. So indeed, hopefully we see tomorrow. There will be more streams tomorrow, and even schedule wise we had some plans. So and thank you for joining also, Strokel. It's been great that you have dropped around now at 10, and of course we have done the usual 1.5 hours tonight, so it's pretty good time to raid some so let's see who's doing what. Alright, Sledge is playing Helldivers. Dog is playing the SCP game. So not immediately like not immediately very retro titles. Let's see what. Alright. Resident Evil and Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, really. God of War, Helldivers, Control, Abiotic Factor, 7 Days to Die, Valheim, alright. I do think Valheim is probably one of the more retro things by now. So we raided Jared was Nema somewhat recently. Let's do them again tonight, as do like the game in terms of overall dynamics, so works. Alright, that should even be correct. Yes. Thank you all for joining, and we certainly had some retro Apple II educational time. Be well and see you tomorrow.